Hello people, my name's DCA, and today we are going to be playing Shulk. And don't think I forgot. This time, I'm not gonna make you skip to hear story time. Alright, once upon a time... Okay, I need to think. Okay. The story this time is going to be how me and my grandma found the greasy finger place. You're gonna think that's an innuendo, but it's not. Please don't think it is. Alright, so my grandma used to live in this house near a big shopping-ish, like not a big shopping district, but it was a decently sized shopping district with a lot of restaurants and foods. And then it was like a mall, but that's besides the point. They had this place, not called the Greasy Finger Place, but that's what we called it because I couldn't seem to get my head around the thought of it, what the actual title of it was called. And so we would go there, or like every single time I would visit, like every like once or twice every time I would visit, because it was like a really good pizza. And you'll understand how good the pizza is, and if you don't like the pizza place, then deal with it. So the pizza place was really good, and we would go there daily. Not daily because that's unhealthy, but like we went there a decent amount. So we went there a decent amount, and like one day my grandma moved, and I hadn't eaten there in a couple of years, I think. And by this point, I'd completely forgotten about it. And so one day, an idea pops into my head. Hey, Grandma, why don't we go to the Greasy Finger Place? And none of us can remember what it was called. So we go on another year or so, until we find this place called Round Table. And I'm like, hey, was this a Greasy Finger Place? And then it all hit me. This is the Greasy Finger Place. I know that's a really dumb story, but I felt like telling it. It's my story, and I'll tell it. So that's the end of that story. We have a couple more. Alright. So a while, not even that long, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, just this Saturday, I went to a baby shower. Yeah, I went to a baby shower. It's pretty fun. So my boy Kyle was there. And we were having a lot of fun. I mean, it was kind of boring-ish, till like the very end-ish. There was these kids. They were like, I don't know, 7. So I was like playing with them near the very end of like our stay, and they were just amazed on how I could jump up the stairs in one hop. I was like, well, it's not even that hard, really. You just gotta get taller, and yeah. So a while in, and this grown man's like, hey, I heard you could jump up the stairs in one hop. I'm like, yeah. And he comes through, and he's like, I bet I can do it. Now show me you can do it. I'm like, okay. So I do it. He's like, alright, let me try. First time he says he can do it, he chickens out on the first jump. And I was just like, wow. Okay. And then he's like, alright, my hamstring. I'm getting a little old for this. I'm like, okay. And if you're wondering why I'm making him sound snug, because he was. Like, he wasn't like gangsta, like blood crips, like, oh, I'm about to destroy your life force. But he was black. And don't think I'm racist, because I'm black too, so please don't. Alright. So, yeah. He tries again, and he's like, he just goes like to the last, he almost makes it, but he's like so close. Then he gets his friend to come try, and his friend is like almost made it. He made it to the last stair before, like there was one more stair. He missed, and I'm just like, haha, missed. Okay, so now we're having a race with the kids. And my mom is counting down. 3, 2, and by the time she would have said 1 and said go, she had paused for about 5 seconds, and I was already like losing balance and ready to go. So as soon as I started to run, because like my mom wasn't, like she was taking way too long and I was losing my balance, so I just like was about to start, and then I took a step forward, and all the kids started going, but I knew that I was supposed to go back at the very like first second, and I accidentally elbowed this kid in the mouth. I was like, ooh, my bad, Molly, my bad. Like, and usually when you hit a kid in the mouth, or like, cause it was like a hard hit. I mean, I'm surprised this kid didn't like start bawling, but I mean, damn, this kid is tough. I mean, he was really weird. Like, not saying like he was like serial killer future weird. He was just like hyper and weird. But like, I hit him in the mouth by accident. My bad. And he's like, "Oh, I'm fine, man. I'm fine." And I'm like, "What?" He didn't even start crying. Usually when you hit a kid in the mouth, like a kid like at that age, like 7, they start crying. But this kid, no. This kid's tough. Damn, I literally was surprised he didn't start crying, because, like, damn. Just damn. I know I'm supposed to tell another story. Like, my friend Kyle told me I should tell another story, but I don't even remember what it was about. I might Skype him afterward and ask him what it was about. I actually don't even remember. If only he was here. If only I had Skyped him before, then I might know. Well, one more story. So, this story is about the day I got Smash Bros. Melee. Yup. This is gonna be a story now. No, not Smash Bros. Melee, sorry. Smash Bros. Brawl. So I don't even remember when I got Melee. Yeah, I think I got it after, maybe. Yeah, I think I got it after. Alright, so, the day, like, my friends were talking about how Smash was good, and I think Kyle was the one that recommended I get it. And this was when we were, like, first-ish, second-ish grade. So about 7 or 8. Way back in 2008. So, what happened was, I was on my way to, like, Blockbuster. If anyone has an idea what that is. And we were picking up a movie. And I said, "Hey Mom, can we go get me a game real quick?" And I don't even remember what it was called. The game was called Best Buy. Thank you, memories. So, we went into Best Buy. And I saw Brawl. And I was like, "That's the one I want." And then she's like, "Alright, whatever." And so, I already told my friends I was gonna get it the day. And then we went and I got it. And my friends were waiting for me by my door. And I was just like, "Hey, I got it." And they're like, "Ooh, sweet." So we played that game for a good 3 hours in my house. That game was hella fun. Like, people were like, I know, like, if you were, you know, like, a comer from Melee and you were already, like, old in the game scene, that you were gonna be, like, mad at the game, because, like, we honestly weren't competitive at that game. We had items on, but I assumed, like, stop thinking it as, like, yeah, it was still really fun. It was, like, really fun. I played the Space Embassy. That game was hecka fun. Yeah, that was really fun. So, what happened after was, I started to get good. Like, and I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm 0 good, but, like, I started to get good. And I was playing Fox. So, I was starting to get good at the game. So, naturally, you turn off items because, to me, that was starting to get really annoying, dying to random BS. I was starting to get done and fed up with it. So I turned it off. And what happened next was, yeah, that's. So yeah, turned it off, started to get good. Oh my lord, that's my phone ringing. Who's calling me? Jalen's calling me, he'll have to wait. Alright, so, started to get good, and I had become the best in my friend, because I had the game, and I played it a lot. And when you're in first grade, you have a lot of free time. I mean, like, a lot. So, I had become really good. And I really loved Smash Bros, like, exactly that game. So I was like, hey, this is the 3rd Smash Bros. How about I go find the 2nd one? Because the first one was for not for 3DS, it was for 64. So what I was doing was I got Melee, but it was nothing like Brawl. Jalen needs to stop calling, like, now. This is really annoying. So yeah, that's the story, and it was like really nothing like how I envisioned it. I thought it would be like just like Brawl, but Brawl was better. It'd be like the exact same thing with a story mode, But no, Melee was like really weird to me, and I didn't really like it. I mean, I was still kind of casualish, and I didn't really understand that there were advanced techniques. Like, okay, think about this. If you had Melee, and think about this, if it was actually a well-developed game, like, I'm not saying like, Melee's bad, but I love Melee when it's out now. So I'm actually good at it now. Decent-ish. But think about this. If Melee didn't have wave dashing, L canceling, any of that good stuff that makes Melee good, it didn't have any advanced techniques, would you really think it was good? Would it really be good? Probably not. Now, a few of you are saying, well, it'd still be good. No, it really wouldn't. It'd probably be the worst Smash Bros. It had tons of hit stun, its ledge mechanic was wonky, it had unbalanced characters. And, to be honest, to be honest, some characters aren't even usable without L canceling, all that stuff kind of makes characters viable. You can't even play some characters. So, I'm gonna tell you guys one more story. Allow me to think while I wreck this Toon Life. Oh, I'm surprised it did not beat. Alright, so... Well, I'm gonna cut this out until I can think. Alright, tell you another story. This is the story of how I got into Pokemon. To be honest, I really do not remember when I first started into Pokemon. I think I was maybe 4. So, I had my regular DS. And I think my mom had got me Fire Red. Fire Red or Leaf Green. I'm just gonna say Leaf Green. No, actually it was Fire Red, never mind, Fire Red. It was Fire Red, definitely Fire Red. And so, I had gotten my first Fire Red. And when you're 4, you don't play the game for the dialogue, you just play the game for the game. And you're kind of absorbing the culture while you do it. So, I was playing Fire Red, and I had made it to the first gym leader. And looking back on this gives me so much nostalgia. Oh, love it. Okay, this is really laggy. Okay, yeah, the radio. So, I'd beaten the second gym leader, and I was just now supposed to go through what's it called? The big cave to get to the third. And I could not get through there for the life of me. So, until I was about 6, I played that game a lot too. I would just keep resetting the game and doing that same thing over and over again. And when you're a kid, nothing really gets old. I did that for 2 years. And that was great. I loved it. Had tons of fun. And when I got to 6, I figured out, because once you start getting older, you get smart. I realized that there was something called Flash. And then I played until the 6th gym leader, and then I kept restarting. And by this time, I was about 8, that I actually first beat the game. And I was really good. I thought I was the best person in the world. So, I wasn't fully done with the game. Like, I didn't complete the whole Pokedex, but I was like, by this time, Heart, Gold, no. This was Diamond and Pearl time when I first got it. And my grandma had gotten this for me right before we went to the movies at Regal Theater. Or Regal Cinema, whatever it's called, I don't remember. And so yeah, we went there, and then we went to Pat and Oscar's, which is now just called Oscar's American Kitchen, or O's American Kitchen, my bad. Because they broke up or something, I don't care. It's not my business. So, we went there to eat, and my grandma was asking me how the game was going. And so, being still super young, not quite being the Pokemon master anymore, because I hadn't played the game for about a year, and I wasn't forgetting about Pokemon. But before this, like before any of I got the games, we played. Me and my mom, we used to live in a small apartment, and we had gotten me these Pokemon cards, and I would ask her to play with me every once in a while, and she would. she like looking back on it, I can tell how she'd be super confused on anything I was doing. I don't really blame her for thinking like that I was like, I don't know, thinking that my Pokemon edition was weird. But anything. Back to Diamond and Pearl. I picked, I think it was Turtwig the first time. Turtwig. And I played through the game, got to the first city, official city, like the one with the clowns. I don't really remember. The ones with the clowns. And by the time I had done all that, I actually had forgotten a lot of what I was supposed to be doing with the games. And so I was just resetting the game again. Still not getting old because I love Pokemon so much with all my heart. So I was just playing Pokemon at this time. So I was just resetting it. And then around 10, 2 years later again. Taunt. Hack. So I actually like started to beat the game again. And we went to this thing called ESS. If you want, you can just look up that story again. So we went to ESS, and I had already beaten the game like twice, around 11. And so Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I had just bought. Tickle. So, yeah. Me and my friends, we played Pokemon a lot, because when you play a video game, you usually try to attract yourself, like, surround yourself with those types of people. I did. And my friends, luckily my friends all from the current time, already liked Pokemon. So I was lucky. Yeah, I was pretty lucky. Oh, that sucks. You lost the KO punch. And so, we played Pokemon, and among the best of the Pokemon people was Victor. Victor played the game really well, and he was my friend also. So we would battle a lot, and I would win sometimes, he would win most of the time. And this sparked kind of a rivalry between us. But I still wasn't too good at Pokemon. I had like 3 of the same type, which was really bad, but you know, was good enough to beat the game. And then, eventually, Victor said he couldn't beat a trainer in the game, and I said, wow, who? And he told me that there was a trainer called Red on top of Mount Silver. And I'd never been to Mount Silver, because I had just played the game, beaten the Kanto, done all that. Good times, good memories. And so, I had done all this, and I said, well, I'm gonna beat Red with ease. And so I had lost to Red, like, 15 times. And I'm like, well, I'm done. So, about 3 days later, I start getting different types of Pokemon that could deal with his. I got Tyranitar, I had, I think my Typhlosion, I also had, what's it called? Oh yeah, I also had a Charizard, because I really like fire. I also like grass. It's pretty fun. So, yes, by the time that I had beat Red, I was still 11, I think. No, sorry. I was 10. No, sorry, my bad. I'm mixing up the timelines! I was in 5th grade, okay? Wah, deal with it. Mixing up timelines, not bad. So, I'd beaten Red, and I was super happy I had done that. And this was during the summer, where I had most of my time. In 5th grade, I started to get more homework, and grades started to matter, even though I was still a D and F student. Like, my ADHD kind of prevented me from doing well. Hashtag Johns in real life. So, yeah. Now I'm better. I have my own A and B student. So, don't worry about me. I'm doing fine. So, I had beaten this. I had beaten Red. Game over. Well, out steps... trying to think what the next Pokemon game should have been. I know Diamond and Pearl, like, I already did all that. I'd beaten that, but I got in Heart Gold and Soul Silver late. And I think... yeah, I think that's when Pokemon Platinum, yeah, Pokemon Platinum had come out. And I was playing that. Same old, you know. Good nostalgia, good fun. But about a year later, we'd all heard about Pokemon X and Y. And my hype was on full throttle. Because I hadn't played Pokemon in a little over a year. So my hype had just reached a whole new standpoint. I had boarded that hype train. And I was the conductor of the hype train. Sorry. I wasn't riding it. I was the conductor. So we were happy. And then we saw there were Mega Evolutions. You would not believe how freaking amazed my 10-year-old or 11-year-old, my 12-year-old brain was. I just couldn't handle it. I was just done. I was just, what? We all were so just hyped. We'd only seen a snippet of it. And then we had seen, about a month later, that the Kanto starters could Mega Evolve. And we were just, oh my god. Foaming at the mouth at that point. We were like, Nintendo, please. Please. Chill. Can't handle it. So, yeah. So, Nintendo was just killing us. And by the time it released, I played through that game in about 8 hours. That game was long-ish. But I was mowing through it. So, yeah. Now, next game comes out about a year later. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Don't need to tell you about that, because play it for yourself. But, that is all. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. And guess what?